Irvin Lee, and you're watching the People's Rep TV. I'm here with my new friend. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shaylin.
What's up, Shaylin? Miss Lewis here. And you and I are talking because you just had a post that came across my timeline on Facebook that seems to be getting a lot of attention. And I really just kind of want to talk to you about it and let you share kind of what's going on since you've posted it and your life up until that moment and what you hope your life becomes after this moment. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Shaylin Lewis. I live in a really, really tiny town in Kentucky, about 10 minutes from Ohio, 10 minutes from West Virginia. It's called Ashland. I'm 18. And yeah.
Awesome. So you're 18 years old. Uh-oh, I think she dropped us. So you're 18 years old. What are you still in school?
I'm not in high school anymore. I graduated in 2020, but I'm in college right now.
So you just graduated high school?
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations. And so you're in college now?
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. And what are your goals with college?
I kind of just went because my parents kind of told me I had to go, but I am just hoping to be successful. Yeah, I'm just hoping to be successful in it like I was in high school and see where I can go with it.
And how's school going so far?
It's pretty good. It's all online, so I'm kind of struggling with it because
you like in class better, huh?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. So you said you're from a conservative town. You know, just reading here, your town was founded in 1786. So it's been around for a long time. Definitely one of the fabric cities of America. It's got a lot of history in the 30s with your movie theater there, the Paramount. I see. Is that still there? Is the Paramount still there?
Yeah, it's still going. It's actually like, I think it does show movies, but it's mostly like a theater place.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jazz Hands Theater.
Jazz Hands.
So that's awesome. So what I want to talk to you about, what happened for me tonight and how we met up is my freedom fighter sister in Salt Lake City reposted your post. And just tell us, I'm going to probably like somewhere right around here, I'm going to put the post so everyone can see it. But tell us a little bit about your post and kind of what you thought or what you were thinking as you posted it.
Just so many people, because like I said, a conservative town, so many people were just standing up for Kyle, the 17-year-old that opened fire.
You're talking about the young man that just killed the people in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was really quick to label it as self-defense, even though like everything's finally came out, and obviously it wasn't. And so I just wanted to because we can't keep talking about this little 17-year-old white kid punk when we still haven't arrested Breonna Taylor's killers. Like,
yeah.
We need to keep bringing attention to
awareness.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's
so,
awesome. So your
post
like here, it said,
sorry.
No, it's fine. Your post here said, you're okay with shooting and self-defense until it's Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. Wow. And you're 18 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. Like that's really insightful. That's deep for an 18-year-old, you know? And what were you doing last year this same time? I guess, what is this? August, September-ish, July around, but like July last year, what'd your summer feel like last year? How was it? Was it a regular summer?
Yeah. I was definitely just hanging out with friends, and I mean, around this time actually was when I was going, there's always this super religious protester that comes to like our summer festival, and like around this time I was having a lot of beef with him because I was standing up for LGBTQ and stuff. So
What's the summer festival about? What's the name of it?
It's called Pogues Landing. It's like we have like rides and stuff all downtown on the Ohio River. It's just like where we watch fireworks and stuff.
Yeah. So what was your protest about with him,
Well,
or the argument?
he comes to all of those and like holds like signs saying that we're all going to hell and stuff, which is like whatever if you're super into
I've
religion and that's perfect if
I've
you
seen
are.
those
But
people.
yeah. And he would just, I mean, there's children everywhere, and he's like yelling at 10 to 14-year-olds that they're going to hell because they're wearing this, or the a kid that's obviously like homosexual and obviously struggling with it and like yelling at him. It's just really
Hmm.
hard to watch. So,
So I will say this: I do believe in God, right?
mhm.
Maybe not the same way that everyone else does, but I do believe in God. But I can almost guarantee it says in the Bible, like don't judge people, right?
Yeah,
He who is without sin cast the first stone. So like when I see those guys that are out there like holding those signs, like you're going to hell for wearing the color purple or whatever they're yelling about, right? I'm like,
yeah,
bro, if I'm going, you're definitely going to be there too, because this is exactly like opposite of what, at least the God that you probably believe in or whoever that person is believes in. Um, that's definitely not how to do it. So I don't believe in that at all. And I'm sorry that you guys deal with that out there, but it sounds like that might be kind of where you started your standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves. So,
yeah.
um, you know, for me as a black male, and I've been black for a really, really long time because I'm old, but it's amazing to me. It's truly baffling to see someone that looks like you standing up for people that look like me. And, I want to highlight that. We want to say thank you, first of all. And I'm going to get more into it and we're going to talk more about it. But how is your city responding to what's going on? And like, how does it make you feel?
Um, I mean, when the protests were going on heavy a few months ago, a few people from
And
my
you're talking about
town
in
who,
Louisville, right?
yeah, like just
And
when
how?
like all of them were going on
Oh,
right
okay, yeah.
after George Floyd,
And how far are you from
um,
Louisville?
about 3 hours, 2.5 hours.
Okay, okay.
Um, our a few of my friends set up like a rally that we were gonna march and then like lay down for the 8 minutes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the city of Ashland attempted to shut it down. And then we have a group here called Build Ashland. They pretty much set up like Pogues Landing and stuff like that. And so they decided to like take that and like make it a festival. They were like, yeah, we're gonna have like a Black Lives Matter festival with like food trucks. And I'm like, we don't need food trucks. Like we need, I don't know. It just was a lot for one time. And
Mm-hmm.
then my group of friends ended up going out and doing it late in the street. And then we obviously got you know, I'd run them over, blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff constantly. So, I mean, I was dealing with that. I didn't end up getting to go to that because I was
Mm-hmm.
working at the time. But, I mean, I was on our news page, like every other comment was me, like responding to people like,
That's
I can't
good.
say that.
You've been out here fighting.
Yeah, I've been to
Absolutely.
multiple protests.
That's awesome. So how many protests would you say you've been to?
6
Six.
in like a
All
two
in
month
Ashland?
period. No, I've traveled. I've been to Michigan. I've been to Ohio. I've been to Huntington, Charleston, two in Ohio, another one in Michigan. So,
Really?
yeah.
That is awesome. You're doing more than some black people. So shout out to you. Let me give you an air high five, right? And that's truly awesome, man. I like that's truly amazing. So to go back to your post a little bit, your Facebook post, that post about I guess the rebuttal to what people are saying about Kyle. What is it? How do you say his last name?
I have no clue. That's why I didn't try to pronounce it
Let's just
before.
call him Kyle from Kenosha. But your rebuttal to that post of your rebuttal to the Kyle in Kenosha, that post has gotten over 3,000 likes at this point, and the astounding part is over 62,000 shares. Right.
Yeah.
So like, has your phone ever done that before?
I mean, no, no, nothing like this.
right? And how has it been? How does it feel to have that many people, like have something resonate with that many people? 62,000 is a lot.
It feels wild. Like, I mean, there's people that I know from like up in Columbus. I mean, people I've met in Michigan that were like, "Yo, I just saw your Facebook post," and I'm like people I'm not even friends with on Facebook that I just have like on Snapchat or something, or like, "I just saw your post," and I'm like, "That's crazy." But I mean, with it came, I mean, just so like death threats consistently. I mean, people trying to use that as an excuse to like talk to me, like to hit on me. Like that's not the point of the post. Like someone asked me today, they were like, how's the attention from this making you feel? And I'm like, I didn't want like attention from it. I wanted it out
Mhm.
there. It's not about me at all. Like not even
Yeah.
slightly.
But would you have ever imagined 3,000 likes and 62,000 shares? Is that normal for you?
No. I mean,
No.
no.
What's normal for you? Like how many likes and shares do you normally get?
I mean, like on a normal post that I make of myself, I say like maximum 3 shares and maybe 60 likes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but I would say that's like a million% higher than
Yeah.
normally what you get. So look at how powerful this thing is, right? And
Mhm.
it's so awesome that you see it kind of like it's not about me, it's about Brianna, right?
Yeah.
It's about the movement. It's about bringing awareness to what's going on for other people that, are voiceless. And I think what's truly amazing is that this awakening is happening in this country. I believe we're having a renaissance again.
Oh
You're
yeah.
just getting out of school where you learned about the Renaissance and um, like the art Renaissance and the 1600s and all that. I think we're having a social renaissance in our world, not just our country, in the world, where it's like, hey, you know what? We've went and separated, and we've went in our own little caves and keep all my acorns for me. But I think these cell phones have brought us together, and they've made humanity. It's polarized humanity. It's made it
Mhm.
look like look how big your post is, right? And it's only going to
Yeah.
continue to grow. And that's a shame that people are giving you death threats. If you feel like any of them are serious, I would definitely encourage you to contact the authorities, or maybe you should already do that anyways, and just say, hey, this is kind of what's happening. What do you guys think? And we're going to advocate for you too, though. We're gonna kind of reach out to. We know how to reach out to people. I deal with city officials a lot. I deal with city governments a lot because of what I do in my daytime. Right now, I'm being Batman at night. This is what I do at night. I freedom fight, and then during the daytime, I work in the concert entertainment business. So we want to advocate for allies too, right? Because you guys, you're jumping into a fight that you really could stay out of, and I
Mhm.
appreciate that more than you know. Um, so like you're getting that kind of attention from the internet. I think at a certain level you expect it. Feels like you kind of brush it off like whatever. Um,
Mhm.
but how's the attention from like people that really know you, or like family and stuff like that?
Um, well, most of my posts on Facebook, like I'll be honest, I block everyone like in my family from seeing it just because I don't feel like what I'm doing right now is their business because I moved out from my parents. Like I don't live with my parents.
Hmm.
Um, but
Congratulations,
someone,
welcome to adulthood.
thank you, it's a great time. Um, but someone asked me to make that post shareable because I just had it for my 1,000 people that could see my post, and someone was like,
Hmm.
"Make this shareable," and I was like, "Okay." And then as soon as I made it shareable, someone from my family commented on it, and that's where it took off because that thing he said made people go off and off, and then just kept getting shares and more people. So I mean, my family's not happy.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
my mom wants me to stop like
Hmm.
posting. Like love that woman. I just think she wants me to like keep myself safe, but I'm not gonna stop.
Absolutely. And we want you to be safe too. Unfortunately, and again, I don't want to make this about religion, but there is a such thing on this earth called good and evil, right? And racism is evil, right?
Yeah.
And evil breeds hate, right? and hate, again, is tied to evil, and it makes men do evil things. So you have to be aware. I need your antennas up now. You've joined this fight. You've put the target on yourself. So,
Yeah.
but the cool thing about it is that as we unite and we all come together, you can find like-minded people, and that's kind of what we want to encourage, is to help you find like-minded people, help you find people that want to unify, so you can have a unit, you can be protected. But I totally agree with your mom. We want you to be safe. So the number one way I would tell you to be safe right now is keep your antennas up. Like I tell the girls here in San Antonio, where I'm at, where we protest at, when you're going home, don't just walk in your house right now. You need to look around first before you go walk inside. You need to make sure when you're getting in your car, you look around a little bit. You got to have your antennas up, because that's just reality, right? You're 18, we'll have a off the screen conversation about other ways you can protect yourself, right? But that is our reality. So, what draws you, or what do you feel like drew you to this fight? Because it sounds like maybe your family doesn't agree with you. What's drawn you to look at this and want to talk about it?
There's a few things actually. One kind of doesn't correlate, but it's just that I've always been fighting for. I grew up with a gay dad, so like I've always had to fight for him, like within school and stuff. So it was always like always standing up for something like that. And then I think I
So
brought it up
your
before.
mother and father are married still, or not married?
No, they're not married. They got divorced
Or,
when I was a baby.
yeah, okay. But you still had him in your life,
Mhm.
and he not decided to switch, but he just lives his life as a gay man now.
Mhm.
But had you, obviously, that's a heterosexual relationship,
Mhm.
and now he's gay, and you had to fight for that with people understanding it, or just him being gay?
People understanding it. I mean, like, there's a few people on my mom's side that were just that kind of caused them to not like gay people because they think it's my dad's fault, and it's not his fault. And I've always had to fight with people in
Wait,
school who want to
they
make fun
think
of it.
being gay is your dad's fault?
Yeah, like or like hurting my mom
Oh, okay. So
or whatever.
the divorce was because of he wanted to be outside of a hetero relationship.
Yeah,
Got you. Well, because I was gonna say that's a tough ticket to put on one person, the gayness of the world, right?
yeah, it's
Um,
his fault.
that's tough. And your parents, I don't know how old they are, but I know they're older than probably both of us, and or probably your parents, a little bit older than me. And we grew up in a world where this stuff wasn't talked about as much, and
Mhm.
people couldn't necessarily live and be who they wanted to be openly. So your parents' situation isn't unique. If I'm being honest, it's not the first time I've heard that, and that's not the first time that's happened. There's politicians that have come out gay and they're married with
Yeah,
like 8 kids. You know what I mean? So you probably know more about this stuff than I do. But keep, not to cut you off, keep going.
there's like two other things, but then the
Mm.
second thing, or the second thing is I like know what it's like to be different and like looked down upon. So like it just hits like so close to home that people like
What
I
makes you
can
different?
just the way I dress. I mean, I wear 8-inch platform boots to Walmart, you know?
Hmm.
And I mean, the thing is, I can come home and take off my makeup, put on like a t-shirt and leggings and be like, oh, I'm regular. But like
Hmm.
people of color literally cannot go home and take off their skin and be like, so like it just hits so hard for me. I don't know. Like it's just
Yeah,
awful.
that is profound. I tell people all the time, like, man, it sucks being black this year. Like, right?
Hmm.
And I love being black. It's one of the cool. I mean, it's cool for me. I enjoyed my skin, and I love the person that I am. But it's been rough, and I'm a tough person, and it's been rough for me. So I know there's black people that are like, shit, man, like, I wish we could take it off. Like, can we get a break for a couple days? You know what I mean? Like, can we just get a break from, okay, it's another hashtag I got to go defend at work with my coworkers, or I have
Hmm.
to go listen to people, almost blatantly be racist out loud and just not say anything because I don't want to lose my job or whatever the situation is. So the fact that you have this vision, you're a special person, and I want you to know that. I don't care what anyone else ever tells you outside of this moment because I'm probably the coolest person that they know. Maybe not that you know, but I'm probably the coolest person that anyone that would tell you different knows. And that's amazing vision to have it at your age. Whatever you decide to do in life, whatever you put your focus on, you're going to be amazing at, right? You're going to be great at. And anyone that tells you different is, they're not set out for greatness. They're set out for mediocre lives. They're set out to be average. They're going to be probably, I mean, I don't know if you want to still be in Asheville, but if you want to be the mayor of Asheville, you can do it, right? There's people in your town that don't have that to go be. Do you guys have a mayor? You guys have a mayor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's people in your town that are going to tell you to shut up that would never know how to figure out how to be the mayor. And you very well have the abilities. And again, just having that vision comes with so much smarts, intuitiveness, empathy, all the things that major corporations want, you already possess. And that's, and the fact that you're applying them to this, again, is just awesome, right? And so you said there's two things. Did we get all, or there's three, did we get all three of the things?
No, there's one more. It's kind of like a mix of things, but
Mm-hmm.
right before all this stuff happened, I don't know if this like matters. I just was sharing anyway.
It's your
I
story, tell
dated
it.
I dated a guy and he ended up being like a white supremacist, like, and didn't tell me until, or I didn't figure it out until deep into the relationship. So I mean, like, dealing with that and like dealing with how he acted after, and when I obviously told him I didn't want to be with him, literally made me like shoot towards fighting the right fight, because like it just wasn't worth it. Like,
Wow.
just
That's crazy. That's movie stuff right there. You should write all this down. But
yeah.
that's crazy. So he, like, how do you know he's a white supremacist? Or is he like in a club, or wanting to be in a club, or is he just racist?
He was like he was a white supremacist. He went to prison. He has the tattoos, the white
Uh,
supremacist
oh
tattoos. But
wow.
I didn't know what any of that meant until I started kind of getting deeper into
Mm-hmm.
the thing. But the thing is he like shows himself off as like a punk, but you can't be punk and racist. It's like a
Explain
rule.
that to me. Why can't you be punk and racist?
Because like the whole idea of being a punk is, no rules, which you know, and I mean it's everyone equal. Like the idea of being a punk is making everyone equal, equity,
Mm-hmm.
and treating people with respect, and you can't do that and hate women and hate people of color and hate
Yeah.
Jewish people.
Yeah. Wow. So you didn't know any of that about this guy while you were dating him. How long did you
Mm-mm.
guys date for?
He lived with me
Oh wow.
in this house. Yeah,
Yeah. So like it got real.
it did.
Wow. And so um that's tough. And again, I mean, I can only imagine dating someone and then being like, hey, who you are, I gotta completely separate from. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't have that strength. Your strength is amazing, like Wonder Woman. Are you into comics, Marvel or DC?
I like Marvel.
You know what? I knew you were our kind of people, right? Shout out to
Marvel's
Marvel,
worth that.
right? We just lost Chadwick, Black Panther
I know.
yesterday. It's terrible, right? But
That's
and people go through things and we don't know it. So the preservation of life, that's why it's important to us, because we're gonna die, or we're all gonna die one day anyways, right? So
mhm.
the idea that our life is taken away because of a police interaction, or a bad interaction that didn't have to happen, things like that. That's why people get so passionate, because it's like, hey, we all have to die one day anyways, just because of normal stuff. Stop killing us because you feel like you have some kind of authority over us because of our skin color.
Yeah.
Um, or because I'm a woman, or because I'm gay, or because I'm trans, or because I'm something different than what you think I should be, right? And so that's you're like superhero stuff right here. Maybe this is your superhero story that's happening like right in front of you. Like, you're at the start. this Facebook post could be your Spider-Man bite,
Yeah. I mean,
right?
this is always what I wanted to do. I mean, I remember it's like a weird distant memory, but one time when I was like 9, I was talking to one of my dad's friends, and we were talking about him being gay, and I said something around the lines of um, like this is me at 9 years old. I was like something about I don't know why it matters to other people who someone else marries, and like at 9 years old, that's like a broad thought.
Yeah,
And
because I
he
think when
was,
you were 9, gay marriage wasn't allowed, right?
mm-mm, yeah.
Yeah,
So when I was like, so that guy looked at me and he was like, I think you need to be like a spokesperson.
yeah.
And I'm like, I think
An
so too.
activist, absolutely. And so, that's some of what we're trying to do and build and help people with, because we want to build an organization, because when you build an organization, you can like hire people to do stuff, and you can create jobs, and your mission can be that is, obviously nonprofit, but there's still ways to make income, right? And then with that income, people can go do the work, right? So like that's why I wanted to build an organization, not just build like a group or just build a club or something. I want to build a true business that has the work that the business does, or the service that the business provides, is this kind of social work, right? Is this activism that's out there to speak for the voiceless, or to speak to this specific topic. So, that's kind of what the People's Rep is about. We're trying to unify voices and unify people, and like, people like you that are, deciding to get in the game. We want to make sure that as you grow and figure out what you want to do, you have people that you feel like are allies. So I know you've had over 62,000 people share your post. How many of them have reached out to like be your ally, or like, give you encouragement, stuff like that?
Um, Absolutely not one of them. I've gotten like one message that was like, "Your, I like the your post made you 10 times sexier" or something, and I was like,
No, I
doesn't
don't believe
help.
you. So, nah, there's no possible way.
Not one person. I do have a group chat with my friends. It has like a stupid name. It's called the Ku Klux Busters, where we like just expose racist people, like as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they've always have been my allies, and I've always supported everything I've done, and I support everything they do because they do the exact same thing as I do.
Yeah. How many
But
Ku Klux Busters is there?
there's 4 original, and then we've added some other people, but like the 4
Awesome.
main.
That is awesome. So is the Ku Klux Klan, is that still like something that's prominent in where you live? Like, do people still talk about it? Do people
Yeah,
still support it and stuff like that? Or is it like underground?
definitely in West Virginia, it's a huge thing, which I'm right by.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really? Okay, I didn't know that about West Virginia.
Yeah, it's I mean, racism is just heavy in this area, like where we're
Mm-hmm.
at right now.
Really?
I Yeah, I think the whole time I went to school, I maybe had 2 people of color in my grade the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it was always just
How many
primarily
people did you
white.
go to? How many people did you go to high school with? How many people are at your school?
I know my graduating class was like 200, and then
Mm-hmm.
my I'm sure there was like maybe 1,000 or less in my
In your whole
school.
school?
Mhm.
Yeah. And how many people of color would you say in that 200 group of people?
That I graduated with, I think maybe 4.
Wow. Wow. That's not a lot.
And they definitely
So,
struggled. I mean, I had to stand up for them in person too. I mean, it's been a whole life of standing up for people. Right now, it's being recognized because I made it public and to where my family could see it.
yeah.
That went crazy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when we go have a conversation and we kind of put some of this story out, some more allies will come for you. I'm glad that you put the story out so that I could get a hold of you, and I hope more allies come. And we'll definitely encourage, more conversations and stuff like that in your area. But it's just crazy that out of 62,000 people, no one's reached out. And that's kind of what I also want to start telling people. Like, we need to be reaching out. We're not using Facebook as in the right sense, right? People,
Mhm.
all these people share your stuff, and like I want to encourage people to say, hey, you know what? Reach out to that person and say, are you a part of anything, or are you building something on your own, or is there something we can help you with, or hey, you know what? Maybe you can come help us with what we're doing, right? Because we need help, and even our stuff looks cool, and we have a website and all that, but like we always can use more help because unfortunately, like this house of racism that we have to go tear down is huge, and I call it a castle of privilege, right? Um, and but that castle, is really a castle of racism, and just like in the old days when there was huge castles and kings and queens in there, the people eventually got fed up and they went and snatched them out of those castles and burned cities down. And that's what we're seeing right now. Do I want to see
Mhm.
America burn? Absolutely not. But I think if we don't fix racism in this country, that's what's going to happen. It's not going to
100%.
get better, right? The Kyle thing already showed us that that's a tipping point. We're going to read that in history books,
Yeah.
or your kids will read that in history books. That that was a tipping point for this thing, because as these protests get as these protests happen more, the protesters, whether they're peaceful protesters or the ones that are there to go riot and tear stuff up, they're going to start arming themselves.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Like I wouldn't feel safe going out there without a gun right now. And I don't think any protester should feel safe going outside without a gun if you're going to a protest. That's not the point of what is we're trying to accomplish. But just like cops have a right to go home, protesters have a right to go home too, right? So
Mhm.
like we can't you had asked me earlier if I was pro police. I understand the concept of needing police to fight crime, but I'm not pro police brutality at all.
Mhm.
And police brutality has to be completely absent of um, police departments. Now, is that saying that you should be nice to a criminal? No, especially if they're trying to harm that police officer.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. But if you're not in direct threat or someone's not trying to harm you physically, there's no reason for you to exert yourself physically. The problem with our police departments is authority. And once you challenge my authority, I'm ready to shoot you. Is
Yeah.
basically what we're seeing right now. Not even I'm ready to argue with you. I'm ready to argue back or none of that stuff. It's basically like, hey, you know what? I have an 8-hour shift. I just started my shift. And that's the part that always gets me. It's like if you have an 8-hour shift and the first person you pull over, you're already turned up and amped up, like I don't have time to deal with this today. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
argue with you, sir. That's confusing to me. Well, wait a minute. You have 8 more hours to go. Why can't you argue with that person? You know what I'm saying? Why does it
Mhm.
automatically have to be do what I say? Um, or it's on. It's fighting time. It shouldn't be like that. And I've lived outside of the country. I've lived other places where it's not like that, right? Where I've had verbal altercations with police officers in situations where they probably could have arrested the people that I was around or even myself. And that didn't happen. We had a dialogue and a conversation about it, and we came to an understanding. And so I think more of that needs to happen, not the I have a badge and a gun, shut up. And I think that's kind
Yeah.
of what's happening there. So like you've kind of answered a lot of my questions. So what are your thoughts on police brutality, and have you ever dealt with it directly?
I definitely haven't dealt with it directly. I mean, kind of, literally 10 minutes after I got my driver's license, I was driving with my dad. My dad was following me, and I pulled over, and I pulled over too close to like the road when I was on the side. And the police like came up to me and was like yelling at me for being so close. He's like, "You're gonna get us both killed, and then you're gonna get charged with manslaughter." I'm like, "Bro, I'm 16. I'm 16 years old."
Yeah. And
But the
everybody's
cops,
been 16 and driving, so
yeah,
a little understanding would be nice, right?
yeah. The cops down here are there's some good ones, there's some great ones, but I mean like the ones over once you go to Ohio, it's on. Like it's no one's game at all. Like
Hmm.
And
Well, we might have to bring some people out there and go have some conversations.
probably, I mean,
um,
Ohio is a big one.
so what were the protests like for someone that did you dress like your normal self, like your 8-inch boots when you went to the protest, or did you
Um,
kind of dress it down a little bit?
I kind of, I mean, I don't want to be super identifiable just in case, no matter where I'm like going to something like that.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I just wore like a pair of boots still, just black pants, black shirt, and then I wore
Yeah, you
my
don't want to
battle
stand
dress.
out too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how were the protests for someone that isn't black, or someone that isn't a person of color?
It was honestly a really great experience because
Because
I
you
mean,
kind of
like
look green
people,
right now, but I'm assuming you look white,
I'm very pale, yes.
right?
Um, it was an experience because I mean, people were coming up and thanking me and like thanking my friends that I was with, and like I just felt like it was something that they didn't have to thank me for because like in the end, we're all in here together, and like I'm just using my privilege to say what I need to say. I had a sign that said, um, we'll both be dead before I record a police officer doing you wrong." And so, I mean, I got a lot
Wow,
of people coming
wow,
up to me about that.
that is awesome. Um, I hope you're never faced with that situation, right?
Yeah,
But it takes a lot of bravery to have that foresight and to think that way. So I wouldn't want to discourage bravery, but I hope you're also never faced with that situation. And what I will say is when people thank you, within yourself, figure it out, but accept that gratitude, because I think, especially because I've thanked a lot of people that look like you, right,
yeah,
or people that don't look like me, because we truly mean it. It's been rough out here. I'm born in the '80s. This is not what I thought 2020 was going to look like, and honestly, I would have never thought, probably in another 20 years, it would if I would have never saw this in my lifetime. Not what we're seeing right now. I thought I would fight these fights and battles in my own little circle and try to change, the lives better for a few people around me. But to see the whole world talking about this, we're in September and
yeah,
we're still talking about this. Usually we talk about this for a couple days, weeks at the most, and it's over. The next holiday comes, the next, major sports event comes, and, you know, it's just crazy what COVID, the blessing that, and respect to all the people that have been sacrifices to COVID and that have lost their lives to COVID, but the sacrifices that they have made, have allowed all of us to, one, look at life as something that's important, right? The
yeah,
whole world's looking at life like, wow, we need to kind of pay attention to life. And then two, it continuing to like spiral, has made us all have to kind of stay in and keep talking about it. And like, we can't go back to normal, right? It's pretty much
yeah.
broken up what's normal for all of us in your 17 years of life and my 30 plus years of life. We're looking at a new normal now. And I think what we're all kind of doing is saying, hey, a part of this new world we're about to have to go get into needs to not be racist.
Yeah.
Right? We
It
need to
seems like
stamp.
such a simple concept. Like it really just seems like such an easy, like it's really just not. It's cost $0 to just not be racist and to just mind your business and to tell cops to do better. But I don't know. I don't know where people are getting lost in translation with that, but it's exhausting.
It is. And, make sure you're taking uh, the proper measures to, fuel yourself. If
Mhm.
as you make those decisions to continue the fight, make sure you're, always replenishing yourself some kind of way. Hopefully we can bring energy for you. Like I said, with us, we're going to be an ally for you now as you go build your army, of people that talk to you, or that want to hear you talk. but make sure you're figuring out ways to replenish, because it is daunting. It's draining. Make you want to jump
Yeah.
off the roof sometimes, where it's like,
Yeah.
why am I even dealing with this? You know? So I encourage you not to give up when those times come. Sounds like you're not. Sounds like you're already tough. You're ready to go. You're ready to start punching.
It just gets hard sometimes because it's like you hear, like I've had, I think 3 or 4 of my uncles have blocked me on Facebook, which is fine. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't really have much like family left. My dad believes in me 100%. Like my dad definitely shared the post. Like he is my #1 fan, and so
Yeah.
is his boyfriend. My mom
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want me a part of anything. And then like my grandma and grandpa also with me, but then like when it gets to my aunts and uncles and on my dad's side family, like it's I'm gone to them. I don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and again, not to make it about religion, but what I would tell you is sometimes you got to separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a part of right is separation, right? Sometimes, like you asked me when we first started talking, what side of history do you want to be on? And sometimes, like you said, you got to pick a side. And sometimes, if they are on the side of opposition or the side that you don't agree with, it's like it sucks, man. But we're gonna have to separate. I still love you. I hope that we get a chance to be in the same space.